بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن
Coach, what
بإسلامي.
obstacles did you face as a new Muslim?
Again, family, like Brother Harun had mentioned. I wanted my mom and my father and my immediate family to be comfortable with what I was doing. I didn't want to sell them on it because we believe in Islam there's no compulsion in Islam. You can't twist anybody's arm or tie them up until they embrace it. You know, you have to be comfortable with it. So knowing that and then doing my little bit of research and trying to educate myself, so I was trying to, again, make my mother happy because as Hadith Bukhari, inshallah, says that if your mother is pleased with you, then Allah is pleased with you. And this is authentic hadith. So I was trying to live by that, you know, and I wanted to be a true Muslim. I didn't want to be a halfway guy, just kind of one leg in, one out, you know, so I wanted to be true to it. I also was trying to give her gifts and try and soften her heart because she was a very strong Christian, upbringing from Deep South. So this is something that has been in the family for years and years. So, cousins and these type of people, what are you trying to be, an Arab? What's going on? I mean, so I was getting a lot of negative feedback, but I had to stay consistent with mine. Yeah. And again, stay on that square. Like we say in the black community, you got to stay on your square, meaning that do what's right. And everything else will fall in line. So I did that. I struggled with my Islam like everybody did back then because I was a young Muslim. Yeah. But when I embraced it, I was still kind of, into my hip hop kind of thing and listening to that. But at some point in time, I had to learn how to walk straight. I had to learn how to pray. I had to learn some Quran. Because in Islam, it's not a dummy religion. It's an intelligent religion. So it tells you that everybody that's a Muslim can recite chapters of the Quran. Mm-hmm. I mean chapters, not small verses. Like sometimes the Christian people, they say 2 words when they pray, and then they eat. It's different things. So it's a whole different thing in Islam. It's an intelligent religion that was so attractive to me because, like, you can't be an idiot and be a Muslim. You have to be smart. And so that portion of it alone was just eye-opening for me. And that opened up different doors in terms of studying and knowing more for myself. Yeah. And now I can teach my kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was a big thing for me.
So was it hard finding resources to learn as a new Muslim how to pray, how to do this, how to do that?
I held on to Fareed as much as possible. And he was a great leader.
Great mentor, huh?
Great mentor. And then I started meeting people like Imam Siraj. And by way of Bilal Abu Bakr, who was my very first contact, who led me to Fareed, Mustafa Zaki in the park. Yeah. SubhanAllah. Shout out to Bilal Abu Bakr, my main man. Because I still stay in contact with this guy, and I love him for the sake of Allah. He was telling me stuff over the phone after he graduated and went back. We kept that rapport. Like he married Imam Siraj's daughter. So now he would tell me, oh, Sheikh is on the way up there. And this was the only guy for years that was coming giving dawah to the state of Minnesota. We had no other sheikhs that would go all over the world and would give us true al-Islam. You see what I'm saying? So I would have to run. Whenever he was coming here, I would just call off work for 2 days and say, I'm going to sit with this guy in a hotel or whatever. And wallahi billah, one time he came and he was speaking at the U, and we went back to his hotel room and he told me, yeah, bring all your friends, no problem. The guy never went to sleep. He lectured us. He sat with us. We had small halakha. He ordered some food for us, and then we put him back on the plane. I never once saw him lay down. So he was concerned about our elevation and growth as young Muslims. Yeah. So this was my contact and my source, and Fareed would also join us. He would come to the lectures. He wouldn't come back to the hotel, but there's so many times when Imam Siraj would come, and you could tell, like, he reached out to us. He made a special point. Like the Prophet did. He never, went to sleep without giving out any money. That's how I felt. I was in that same kind of, not saying this guy's the Prophet. No, he wasn't the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What I'm saying is that he took that opportunity, that opportunity to make sure he answered every question and gave us good doses of Islam. Wow. So I had to take advantage of that because nobody else was able to teach me other than I was reading, going to the library. Because back then it wasn't like you could just get anything online. You had to wait, and kind of computers were slow and all this stuff. So I had to take advantage of the sheikhs.
Man, Harun, what were some of the key obstacles that you faced as a new Muslim in regards to even learning some of the key things like how to pray, how to do this, how to do that?
Yeah, so when I met Brother Abdullah, it's a busy time in his life. He was newly married. He was trying to go to Hajj. He was...
We'll get in for that later, man.
Yeah.
When we see him, we all jump in.
That's not what we do, brother. So, like, he couldn't be there. I think he was working a lot, and yeah, it was a very busy time for him.
Yeah.
And so, like, he taught me about the Shahada, and I became Muslim. And I was at such a, like, high level Iman and stuff where I couldn't hang out with the sisters I was hanging out with.
Yeah.
Because there was only sisters where I was going to school. And I was like, I can't hang out with you.
Yeah.
And learn Islam.
Yeah.
And so...
Plan B.
Yep, so then finally after bugging Abdullah for months, or maybe weeks, it felt like months or years, no, he finally took me to Islamic University of Minnesota, and this time it was in Robbinsdale. And I met Brother Jabir Ibrahim there, and I met a brother named Saeed Nitambui, and who else did I meet there? But definitely Jabir Ibrahim. I've met Walid al-Shura there too. But Jabir Ibrahim, he wasn't married. He was studying a lot. And
perfect timing, huh?
Yep. And he worked at the university, so he's always there. I could always ask him questions. He gave me my first musalla. He taught me how to make wudu. He taught me how to pray and everything.
So there were no key obstacles that you say were like, I had such a hard time that it took me a long time to get over it.
Like obstacles? I don't know. No, not many.
Not many?
I just tried to open myself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, Coach, that it helped? I don't know how old you both were. Maybe you were about 18, 19, 20. But a lot of younger Muslims, people who become Muslim at a younger age, they go through some intense difficulties, especially when you're like 15, 16, 17, 18, and you become a Muslim. People go through a lot from family and so on and so forth, a lot of pressure from a lot of different angles.
Well, it's all about being open and receptive, and mature enough to accept what is being put in front of you. Yeah. And like I said, the brother used to lay it out perfectly in front of us. Yeah. This is what it is, and then he used to make these beautiful footballs on Friday. Yeah. So I was even more mesmerized by his speech, his tongue, everything that he would put out there. I mean, there was no slacking, with him. Yeah. Like we say in the black community. Yeah. The guy's smooth with it. The guy's smooth with it. Smooth with it. Like he would lay it down like, oh my God. Like listen, his words, I would take them and put them into my speech and say it to whoever I come across. Like, yo, man,
this is what it is.
This is what it is, and it was so smooth. Like when he used to say stuff, he would make a statement and then he would say, all praise be to Allah. I'm like, man, I needed to hear that. Yeah. It's just little stuff like that. Yeah. And so we started asking him about, well, what about music? What about our rap music? We got to cut that off. And he's like, I got something better for you. It's called nasheed. And so he's like, it's a quiet rap, but it has the duf. And what is the duf? The duf is allowable in Islam. It's the drum. So we don't do the music per se, but the duf is allowable in Islam, meaning that the drum is okay. Yeah. So, and he was teaching us just small things like that. Yeah. And that meant a lot to me because instead of saying no, he had the wisdom to say, here's the alternative. Yeah. You see? And so you see so many people nowadays, you can't do this, don't do that. No, don't do this. Your beard's too long. You got to walk this way. Move your pants up here. And they're quick to correct you, but they have no way how to bring it. Which means like they don't really know what they're talking about in so many ways. So we have to be careful on what we say to our brothers and even the non-believers because that chases them away.
That's true. Yeah. Brother Harun, so after becoming a Muslim and how was life different after becoming a Muslim? And things were a little bit more settled.
Yeah, so I guess music was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I was trying to be a singer-songwriter in St. Paul, and
So you were an artist, huh? You were a
yeah,
full-blown
yeah,
music
I was
artist.
writing my own music, lyrics. First the music came, and then
Yeah.
the lyrics came. That's very important. So music came first, then the lyrics.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
So
I would
you was
make
the,
these.
you was the real Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Before there was.
Oh, yeah.
Subhanallah.
So I would make the music, and then I would make the words go with the music.
Oh.
So that's
That's intense.
Yeah, that was hard, but in a way it was easy too,
Yeah.
because if I couldn't make the music, then I couldn't make the lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I was in the process of recording. I had like 15 songs maybe out, and that I would play at coffee houses, or a coffee house at my school. People who know me, and
Subhanallah.
so I had like 15 songs out. I was in the process of recording, my first record, or CD or whatever.
Yeah.
MP3s. So, and then I, learned that I couldn't play the guitar anymore. So I had to stop that.
Yeah.
And instead of, just slowly getting rid of it, I took it to my mom in Indiana, and I didn't bring it back. Yeah.
That was one way of just avoiding it, right?
And she donated it, yeah.
Oh.
And it was my dad's guitar from when he was in the Navy. It was a Martin guitar, pretty expensive guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing because there's been tons. Like I said, my personal experience was rap and hip hop Nation of Islam. They used to endorse rap and bring those rappers to Chicago. That was my whole incoming. But there's been many brothers that I've come across. I didn't know that about Brother Harun. Brother Saeed Purcell.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was a music producer. Wallah, big time music producer. He had his own studio, all of that stuff. They used to produce rap, hip hop, everything. A lot of pop 40. A lot of people came in via the musical door because that opened up different doors for us.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there. Again, we don't ascribe to that now because that's not part of the Deen. But it's just interesting that the brother said it.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
That someone about to have the background in.
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning, I'd wake up like 7 a.m. and I was like wide awake. I was like pumped to go to church on Sunday in Minneapolis. It was a rock and roll church. And I would mix the sound for them. I would set everything up before anybody got there. And I'd set the sound up, and I would run the sound controls for 3 rock and roll bands. And I was like hooked to the music, and big fan of Cat Stevens. He became Muslim.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I still, when I knew he was Muslim, I didn't know what that meant.
Oh.
I didn't know he was practicing Islam. I just thought he was Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, what were some key obstacles that you ran into after becoming a Muslim and some of the foundations were settled? Whether it was some things that you had to let go or some things that you had to learn that you thought were hard on you or so on and so forth?
So you're speaking devices. I would say, again, hanging out with my friends and cutting them off, letting them know that, I can't do that. Or sometimes I just wouldn't answer their phone call or their knock at the door. Just shut it off. Seriously. I mean, because in Islam, in order to be a true believer, you have to hate once you came from. And I had to turn my back on that because I wanted to go in a different direction. So I would say a lot of my friends and some of the stuff we used to do and hanging out, going to clubs, stuff like that, I had to shut all that down.
Couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, because that just, a lot of shaitan, a lot of negative, evil things, so I had to shut that down and make a decision. And like I said, in order to receive, you have to be able to be mature enough to receive good information.
Yeah.
And then you have to, of course, be ready to be receptive for that and mature enough to do it. So I had to shut it down. I had no choice.
Yeah, like what you're saying is, you have to cut the people out, that are leading you down a path that you know is wrong. And like with me, I was going to clubs and doing things that that aren't what Muslims do. And after I learned about that, I didn't want to do that. And very early on, as I was being a Muslim, I learned that you have to change yourself to fit into Islam.
Yeah.
You can't change Islam to fit
To
yourself.
fit you, right?
Islam is perfect. You can't change what's perfect. And
That's tough.
yeah.
So, in closing your statements, Coach, what's an advice that we can give to young new Muslims or older Muslims in general? To a new Muslim, what's the best advice that we can give them?
Again, read and study and research. This has been one of the main things for me in terms of developing and growing as a Muslim, and I still do it to this day. I love studying. I love doing research. You have the internet. You have Google. You can do so many things in terms of going to the library, sitting with the sheikhs, going to the masjid. I mean, there's no way that anybody can stand before Allah and say, oh, I had this excuse, I had to do this, I had to do that. No, because we have all these different outlets. So I would strongly encourage all the youth, all the adults, anybody who's out there listening to this online or whatever, try and do some research and do some good by studying. And then going and sitting with the people who you know that are learning in your community. And as we stated before, the last time I was here, this is one of the signs of the last days to come. One of the 60 signs, there will be less learned people and more ignorant people. Who are the ignorant people? You can walk out your door and hear the cars going by, boom, boom, boom. That's what we call ignorant. The people who don't know anything, and they're deaf, dumb, and blind. They don't know about Islam. They don't know about religion, anything. There'll be more of these people and less learned people. So when the learned people are here in our immediate circle, we have to go to them and seek nasiha or learn from them and take from them. And we have many different sheikhs in our community right now, many masajid, a lot of learned people. So you have to take advantage of that by going and sitting with them and doing your own research and study.
So, Bro Harun, what do you think is a key advice that every new Muslim should know and should probably keep in mind?
Yeah, you just have to, like Brother Jihad said, you have to keep learning. You gotta read. You gotta go on Google. Ask. If you know Muslims in your area, ask them what are good sites to go on, and just start learning and start reading English Quran and Hadith, and asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no dumb questions, especially because with Islam, we're not supposed to be shy about our religion. So if there's a question, just ask it. And for a new Muslim, they wanna start doing everything. They wanna start speaking Arabic like they can do it like out of the womb or something. But you gotta learn it, before you can speak it. I don't even know Arabic, but you have to go slow too. Like what you're learning, you want to implement it so fast that you might do it wrong. So you just got to go slow and ask questions and just keep learning.
Coach, if I'm a new Muslim, what's the first thing I should learn as a curriculum?
Again, going back to what the brother just said,
Yeah.
take things slow. You don't want to feed a baby a steak. It's baby food.
Yeah.
So when you're a new Muslim,
Yeah.
slow. Like Sheikh just said.
Yeah.
Wallahi, it's the best advice I could say to anybody. Go slow.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Because
my daughter brought her baby by last night and had a chance to spend some time with the baby. I'm a grandfather now, subhanAllah. So I had some chances to sit with baby Naja. And subhanAllah, she's trying to hold her own bottle at 3 months.
Wow.
So am I going to have her hold a hammer? She can't hold a hammer. Baby steps. SubhanAllah. La hawla wala quwwata illa billah. There's no might greater than Allah. So we have to understand that and take it for what it is. If I'm a new Muslim, I'm not going to go give this guy, Sahih Bukhari.
In Arabic.
Yeah. Why? Slow. And, even when I'm dealing with the youth, yesterday we had to sit these guys down and give them a talk. But I'm not going to lecture them for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They came to play basketball.
Yeah.
I want a basketball vehicle. So that's what they want. I'm going to give it to them. They give you some little Caesars, send you on your way.
Yeah.
That's what they came for. And people don't understand when people come to the masjid, they want the information. Abdullah gave it to the brother. He's on his way. When he wants more, he's going to come back. It's like going fishing. If you don't get anything, okay, we struck out today. I'm gonna pack it up, go home, maybe the next day. You can't give people these crazy
large doses of
asinine ideals that that I want you to study and recite Surah Al-Yasin. Sheikh, it's one of the biggest surahs in the Quran. Why? Give him Alif Bata. It's good. Connection. Anything.
step by step.
Yes. But to force feed somebody too much is system overload. It's no good.
Yeah.
So again, like what the brother said, I would piggyback off his reply by saying go slow, small steps, and little by little, because we know if you feed somebody, and data research shows this.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a teacher and an educator, small dosages are best. And we know this from 1400 years ago. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to speak in brevity, small pieces. He didn't lecture for long times. His khutbah, all of this stuff, small pieces. And that's most effective. And the data today even reflects this and shows it. So when you come to the people, especially the kids, small dosages, boom, it's over with. And they're going to take that and run with it. Inshallah, they'll be right back to you. So I would say small steps.
So inshallah, we want to say Jazakumullah khairan to the brothers for coming out. The Brothers Club Finding Islam here on Deen Love. Beautiful episode. I've known these brothers for a long time. What I found out today, subhanallah, it's the format of the da'wah that sometimes Allah gives us a lot of opportunities and blessings that with this little effort that we're trying to do, inshallah, I'm benefiting so much that, subhanallah, I get to meet and hear about people's lives and different opportunities and experiences that people went through that on a weekly basis. SubhanAllah, it's a blessing to imagine Harun. I've known him for a long time. Some of the things I found out today I never knew. Same thing with you. When we see each other every day, Assalamu alaikum, how's it? After we hang out for a little bit, everybody's just running off in life, SubhanAllah. But I want to say Jazakallah khairan for guys for coming in today and supporting the Deen Love. That's what connected us here, Deen Love. That's the vision, that's the mission. It's a Deen Love. So till next time, wa sallallahu sallam ala nabiyyina wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Coach.
بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن